We are continuing our series of candidates who are on the ballot in Maine for major office on Election Day. With us today, one of the 4 candidates in the race for the United States Senate, Jason Cherry, who is an independent. Thank you for coming in. It's good to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me.
We could walk out of this studio onto the streets of, you pick the city in Maine, Portland, Lewiston, Bangor, Rockland, Presque Isle, and I have a feeling you could walk down the sidewalk and nobody would even know who you are.
That's correct.
So what does that say about someone who's running for the United States Senate and has only weeks until Election Day and is not known by the voters?
Well, I am not known by the voters. However, if they will look at cherryforsenate.com, they'll find a number of positions that they might find agreeable. I am a true independent. I have deep concerns about the two-party system and the narrow agendas. I'm also an individual that has a lot of fight for that Mainers to make sure that we can reduce living costs and that we can address some of the issues that are still lagging in Washington, D.C.
Obviously, you're an outrageous long shot in this race, to be realistic. What was it that made you want to get in and run this campaign?
Well, I've been in public service for almost 25 years. So I've been a conservation officer, I've been a public defender, I've been an FBI agent for 20 years, and I've really just enjoyed the persona of being someone that's out there trying to assist people in making their lives better and making the world better. And so this position came up at the time that I made the decision. I didn't know that Senator King was going to rerun. But when he did, I decided that I would go ahead and try to put myself on the ballot, and here I am.
The voters tell us that their number one concern in Maine right now, this is from polls and surveys, their number one concern is the high cost of living. A lot of people struggling to get by financially. How would you address that as a member of the Senate?
Energy is always the foundation for a lot of economic costs. So I have a background in international trade and business, and energy is always the variable that affects consumer costs. So diversifying our energy grid, working with Canada, who has a strong alternative energy grid and a number of ideas that we can use. They're right near us. We need to strengthen that relationship, and we need to find more alternative energy so that we can not have these ups and downs with the fossil fuels that we have now.
What would you do to raise Mainers' incomes?
We would have to invite in that type of development that actually generates higher incomes, and that is tech or consumer goods and manufacturing goods. The service economy is a low-paying job that a lot of the younger generations are realizing, and we need those type of manufacturing jobs and jobs in the energy market, jobs in the tech market. These are the highest-paying jobs in the various markets.
Tech jobs are desirable, which is why every state wants tech and why every country wants tech. What can Maine do that would give it a leg up?
Maine would have to look for those tech companies that have a synergy with our port system. So we are on the coast. We can be working with Canada in additional trade, additional ability to export goods. And so we need to look at the port system that we have and work with, again, our closest neighbor is Canada. We have all the incentives in the world to try to strengthen that trade agreement.
You have a proposal that's part of your platform, which is one I've never heard of from a politician. You would like to see mandatory qualifications for members of the U.S. Congress. What would those qualifications be?
They would just be basic common sense qualifications. So for instance, the Senate has only half of the senators have a legal education. So at that level, they're going to produce legislation, not know the doctrines of overbreadth and vagueness, or not know a number of doctrines. They can't reach the footsteps of our property, our government, and not have those qualifications. So simple threshold of economics, because economics impacts everything, and a legal education. Those two things by themselves could help improve government. And as conventional owners, constitutional owners of government should demand accountability, competency, efficiency, and transparency. And we just don't have that with a 200-year-old constitutional framework.
So what you're saying is we need more lawyers in Washington?
We need legislators, lawmakers that are law understanders, that is just a common sense thing to have. So anyone can get a law degree, they can get a minor in it. We need that type of competency back at DC. We can't keep rolling the dice on popularism or people that just happen to be attached to one party or the other.
Is your campaign just kind of a personal lark, or do you hope to leave a lasting impact that somehow affects the debate and affects the direction of Maine and the country?
Well, as Maine votes, the rest of the United States votes. It has ranked choice voting, so in the wisdom of the citizens, they legalize that. I'm just another candidate for that slate so that people realize that, yes, ranked choice voting will bring in people with a law degree, will bring in people with economic background. That's the type of competition we need all over the nation.
All right. That's the last word. Jason Cherry, independent candidate for the U.S. Senate in Maine. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
All right.
If you'd like more information on this campaign and this candidate, you'll find it in the 207 section of our New Center Maine website or app. Stay with us. We'll return in a moment.